So we have a WWE Championship match scheduled for Extreme Rules 2020, and that is WWE Champion Drew McIntyre defending against Dolph Ziggler. Now we don't know what the stipulation will be, if there will be one. Of course, Extreme Rules has usually a load of extreme stipulations. I'm sure that'll be announced at a later date, but we've got Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, last night on Raw, WWE Champion Drew McIntyre opened the show, and just a side note here, I mean, how great does Drew McIntyre look with the WWE Championship, by the way? Now, maybe it's just British bias, but I mean, Drew McIntyre at this point has been champion for what, 3-4 months? And yeah, it looks great. He looks like a champion. He looks like a WWE champion. I think the sky really is the limit for Drew McIntyre as WWE champion. I'm really glad to see the success that he's having, and it just sucks that he doesn't have the sold out arenas, because I think he'd be doing an even better job. I think he's doing a great job with the cards that he's been dealt with at the moment. But like I said, maybe it's just British bias. So he's talking about who's going to be next after his WWE Championship victory over Bobby Lashley at Backlash, and he's interrupted by Dolph Ziggler, none other than Dolph Ziggler, SmackDown's Dolph Ziggler. Now, Dolph Ziggler explains that with AJ Styles being traded to SmackDown recently, Dolph Ziggler and his tag team partner Robert Roode have been traded to Monday Night Raw as a result. Now, I don't want to go into that too much because that's going to be a separate video. All I will say is, who on earth is doing these trades? I mean, the USA Network must be fuming. I mean, AJ Styles, arguably the best wrestler on planet Earth right now, on planet Flat Earth, according to AJ Styles, but the best wrestler going, AJ Styles, and in return you get Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. Now, that's nothing against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, I must say, but I mean, come on. I mean, I'm one in 4 guys for AJ Styles. Seriously? But I'll get into that in a separate video. Like I said, that's for another time. Anyway, now Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, they talk about their history. And of course, when I say their history, when Drew McIntyre first came back to WWE after his NXT run, he was of course paired with Dolph Ziggler. They were tag team champions. At the time, Dolph Ziggler was the Intercontinental Champion. They feuded with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, probably one of Dean Ambrose's last big angles before he left WWE and turned heel, and feuded with Seth Rollins, all of that stuff. So they touch on that. Dolph Ziggler coined the phrase, Drew McIntyre is the Scottish psychopath. There was this basically the whole gimmick when Drew McIntyre came back to Raw and SmackDown with Dolph Ziggler, is that there was this whole, Shawn Michaels and Diesel thing going on right there, right? That's what it was, essentially. They then had the amazing run, right, with Constable Corbin, and weren't they with Braun Strowman as well for a while? After feuding with Braun Strowman, they were with Braun Strowman for a while as they feuded with The Shield. God, that was bad. That period of time, just 2018 WWE. Maybe we look back on it now and it's actually not bad compared to some things we've seen in 2019 and 2020. I don't know. I just look back on those periods of time and just, oh, God. So Dolph Ziggler, I'll get to my point eventually. Dolph Ziggler says he wants what he believes that he is owed, and that is a WWE Championship match at Extreme Rules. Drew McIntyre says, I don't have an opponent, so you're on. Apparently that's all it takes to get a WWE Championship match on Raw in 2020. You just need a bit of history, and if McIntyre's free, he checks his diary. Yeah, I'm free. WWE Championship match, sure. Now, first of all, I think this feud and this angle was meant for Jinder Mahal, if I'm correct. They obviously are doing an angle based on McIntyre's past, and I think the Jinder Mahal having the 3MB past of it being a comedy angle, and them both having to leave WWE and come back bigger, badder, and better than ever, and becoming WWE champions. I think that would have been really fun. Now, of course, people have their opinions on Jinder Mahal and his WWE Championship reign, and that is fair enough. I don't think his championship reign, the best thing about his championship reign was when he won it, the shock of when he won it, and when he lost it, to be honest. That was it. The championship reign was mostly forgettable, and the only things that was quite memorable about it was how bad it was and how bad those SmackDowns were in 2017. They were just not good. The Punjabi prison match against Randy Orton, the Great Khali coming back, not good. So people, of course, will have their opinions on Jinder Mahal and that run and his talent. But I think the feud with Drew McIntyre, I think it would have been really fun. I think it would have been different, and it would have been great to see do the angle of where they were and where they are now. I think that would have been a really nice contrast and a really nice story to tell, which WWE doesn't get the opportunity to tell that often. The story would have been built in, it would have been simple, but it would have been compelling television, in my opinion, of course. But Jinder Mahal, of course, got a knee injury. He just came back from an injury, and then he went down with a knee injury very quickly. So that angle, that feud, the Jinder Mahal, Drew McIntyre feud, we'll have to see that another day because it's not happening right now. And that really sucks. That sucks for Jinder Mahal. It sucks for anyone when they go down with an injury and have more time off. So that sucks for him. But step in Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is the replacement and will be facing Drew McIntyre at Extreme Rules for the WWE Championship. It kind of feels like the pattern at this point in Dolph Ziggler's career, right? I mean, whenever WWE doesn't have someone to face the WWE champion, up steps Dolph Ziggler. We don't have a challenger, just throw Ziggler in there. I don't think Dolph Ziggler's doing anything at the moment. I mean, how many times have we seen that at this point? Dolph Ziggler, WWE Championship feud, you know he's not going to win. It's just something to do on TV for Dolph Ziggler and the champion at that period of time while they set up something else. Now, I will say, the Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre match at Extreme Rules, I'm not totally against this match at all. I mean, both guys, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, they are great in the ring. They do have history, so there is a story there. They do know each other very well, so I'm sure their chemistry will be great. The match itself will be great. These are two great workers. Dolph Ziggler, it's hard for Dolph Ziggler to have a bad match against anyone. Drew McIntyre in the ring, for a guy of his size, he is super athletic. Some of the matches he's had as WWE Champion alone have been great. He's a great worker. He's always been a great worker. So I think this match is going to be great. I think it's going to be really entertaining and really fun. The match itself will make Drew McIntyre look great. It'll put him over as $1 million as a strong WWE champion, which is what WWE needs to do. I speak all the time about WWE needing to build new stars, needing to invest in new stars, and needing to make someone like a Drew McIntyre, get him to that upper echelon level. He's WWE champion now, but I think he can get even higher. And that's what they need to do. They need to invest, they need to put him over, they need to make him look strong because he also has the faith of the fans. I think you can push Drew McIntyre hard and the fans aren't turning against him yet. By this time last year, fans had already turned on Seth Rollins. By this time, people have already turned on Roman Reigns. People aren't turning on Drew McIntyre. That's a strong sign for WWE. So keep pushing, keep investing in Drew McIntyre. And I mentioned before, Drew McIntyre as WWE Champion, he needs to win, and win some more, right? That's how you make a star. That's how you get a babyface over to the next level. So I think this match will do just that. So I don't have a problem as such with the match. I'm not totally against the match. I think the match will be great. My issue here is, to me, there's just no stakes. I mean, let's be honest here. There is, no way, and if I can steal a phrase from Vince McMahon, no chance in hell that Dolph Ziggler is winning here. None. He isn't going to win. We know the finish. Drew wins with the Claymore 1, 2, 3. He maybe even does the 1, 2, 3 before he gets the 1, 2, 3. And again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all, that Drew McIntyre wins and retains. All I'm saying is that it feels slightly less must-see because you already know the outcome. And it's like any television program. If you know the outcome, you know the ending, you're less likely to watch. Now, it's a nice stopgap for Drew McIntyre for whatever feud will be at SummerSlam. I think that feud at SummerSlam for me should be Randy Orton. I think Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton would be epic at SummerSlam. There isn't a better heel in WWE right now. He would be the ultimate foil to Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. I think that feud would be absolute money. I think the only problem there would be is who loses. Because Randy Orton's on such a roll at the moment that I don't want to see him lose, and I certainly don't want to see Drew McIntyre lose the WWE Championship anytime soon. So that's the tough one there. But that's stakes. That's what my point is here. That is stakes. That's what makes you watch. Who is going to lose? Because I don't see any guy losing here. That's stakes. That's what a WWE Championship match should be. And as I mentioned, this feud with Ziggler, it's a nice stopgap for McIntyre. But I don't know, it just doesn't hook me as much as a Jinder Mahal versus Drew McIntyre match would have, because that match would have been interesting. And knowing how much Vince McMahon likes Jinder Mahal and Jinder Mahal's look, of course Jinder Mahal is a former WWE champion after all, to me there would be this element of doubt of, I tell you what, Jinder Mahal could win this here. Because we know Vince McMahon likes him, they might do something different, so there would be this element of doubt, and that's stakes. And it was the same for Backlash. Now, prior to the match at Backlash, where Drew McIntyre faced Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship, there were rumblings of Lashley could win this. We heard all the reports, right? Paul Heyman wanted MVP to be a mouthpiece for a world champion. I mean, like, wait a minute, he's a mouthpiece for Lashley at the moment. Lashley's facing Drew McIntyre. The obvious connection there would be, oh my God, Lashley could win this. The element of doubt was in your mind. That's all you need. That's all you need. Just the smallest element of doubt in your mind about the finish, the winner, the outcome, and bang, you have stakes in the match you have to watch because you don't know the outcome. And that, to me, is the only problem with a Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler match is we know the outcome. And again, I'm not saying the match isn't going to be great, because it is. And I'm looking forward to the match because the match will be fun. It'll be great. But we know the outcome. There's no stakes there. And personally, I would have preferred it to be Jinder Mahal. But hey, look, circumstances dictate. WWE had to pivot. They had to change the plan up a little bit, and here's what we have. We have Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre. So, should be a great match, but it just doesn't hook me as much as maybe another match would have. But of course, this is just one man's opinion. What is your opinion on Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler at Extreme Rules 2020? What stipulation do you think or will be added to the match? Are you looking forward to the match? Who do you think Drew McIntyre will face? And who do you think is going to win the match? Drew McIntyre is going to win the match, by the way. Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Wrestle News 365. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms on the screen right now at 365 Wrestle on Twitter and at Wrestle News 365 on Facebook and Instagram. So be sure to give us a follow there. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or however you've come across this video today. And I'll speak with you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.